Just
You
stop.
You don't pay rent.
I do pay rent.
Your rent was due on the 1st. You have not paid me.
Well, maybe you should have been a man.
Well, maybe you should have done a better job raising your daughter.
He is going to die. A very, very lonely old man.
Is there anything more frustrating than watching someone consistently mistreat the people they claim to love? On 90 Day Fiancé, Big Ed has earned a reputation for doing just that. His toxic behavior toward women, especially his partner Liz, has left many viewers questioning how far his disrespect and manipulation truly go. If you like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified on our channel.
So Ed said that he hasn't spoken to you at all, and then now he's saying he can't remember if he spoke to you.
I didn't.
That's not true.
Ed and Liz's relationship on 90 Day Fiancé was a train wreck from the start. They first met when Ed, already known for his tumultuous relationship with Rose, got involved with Liz, a single mother and restaurant manager. At first, there seemed to be a spark, and they were giving love a shot despite their age difference and emotional baggage. But it didn't take long for their relationship to unravel, marked by constant arguments, misunderstandings, and multiple breakups, followed by awkward reunions. The roller coaster nature of their relationship was a warning sign for what was to come. One of the most glaring red flags was Ed's manipulative behavior. A prime example was when he called off their wedding just days before they were set to marry, rather than showing any concern for Liz's feelings or the emotional toll the breakup would take. Ed seemed more focused on getting her stuff out of his house. It's like the guy had zero emotional intelligence. Liz, understandably heartbroken, was left trying to pick up the pieces, but all Ed cared about was clearing space for the next woman he would probably try to manipulate. What made things even worse was how Ed isolated Liz from her support system. He moved her away from California, far from her friends and family, leaving her vulnerable and alone. Ed's controlling tendencies were clear, as he essentially cut Liz off from the people who cared about her the most. Thankfully, her mother eventually stepped in to help her move out and give her the emotional support she so desperately needed. Watching Liz's mom comfort her as she finally broke free from Ed's toxic grip was one of the few silver linings in their otherwise disastrous relationship. Ed's narcissism came to the surface when he threw the rent argument in Liz's face after essentially forcing her to move out. It's baffling to think that he would even bring up something like rent, considering he's the one who ended their relationship out of the blue. Liz had no time to prepare, and yet Ed dared to blame her for not paying rent on time, as if she wasn't already dealing with enough emotional turmoil. It was a classic case of victim blaming. Instead of taking responsibility for breaking off the wedding and turning Liz's life upside down, Ed deflected the blame onto her, showing zero empathy for what she was going through. What made the whole situation worse was Ed's hypocrisy and gaslighting throughout their relationship. He constantly positioned himself as the victim, despite being the one who initiated the breakup. During their heated fights, Ed would twist the narrative, making Liz feel like she was the problem. This is a perfect example of gaslighting, where he manipulated the situation to make Liz question her actions and feelings, even though he was the one who canceled the wedding and backed out of their future together. One of the lowest points in Ed's behavior toward Liz was when he insulted her family background, specifically going after her mother. In the heat of one of their many arguments, Ed cruelly suggested that Liz's mother didn't raise her right. This wasn't just a petty jab. It was a clear attempt to hit Liz where it hurt the most. By bringing her upbringing into the argument, Ed revealed a deep-seated disrespect, not only for Liz, but for women in general. His comment was meant to undermine her sense of self-worth, making her question her value as a person, and more specifically, as a woman. This kind of emotional manipulation shows how far Ed was willing to go to assert control and inflict emotional pain. This wasn't an isolated incident. Ed's disrespectful comments toward Liz were a consistent pattern throughout their relationship. One particularly nasty comment he made was about Liz's age, where he implied that she was losing her beauty. For Ed, it seems like Liz's worth was tied directly to her physical appearance, and as soon as she didn't fit into the youthful image he wanted, she was no longer valuable to him. This kind of degrading comment isn't just superficial, it's an attempt to reduce Liz's identity and worth to nothing more than her looks. By making comments like this, Ed showed his complete disregard for Liz's feelings. It's as if he didn't see her as a whole person, with thoughts, emotions, and values beyond her appearance. He treated her like an object that had started to lose its shine, and it's incredibly dehumanizing. This mindset, where a woman's value is tied to her beauty and youth, reflects Ed's deeper misogynistic tendencies. He saw Liz as someone he could control, and the moment she no longer fit into his narrow view of what a woman should be, he tried to tear her down. Ed's troubling behavior toward women didn't start with Liz. If you followed his journey on 90 Day Fiancé, you'll remember his previous relationship with Rosemary Vega. That relationship was another example of Ed's need to control and belittle the women he dates. From the beginning, Ed's actions with Rose were questionable at best. He repeatedly made inappropriate comments about her appearance and lifestyle, even going so far as to tell her to shave her legs and get an STD test, as if she needed to prove her worth to him. These moments demonstrated how Ed viewed himself as superior, seeing his partners as projects to fix rather than as equals. Throughout his time with Rose, Ed seemed more focused on changing her to meet his standards than on building a genuine connection. He ignored her feelings and cultural background, constantly making demands that reflected his narrow view of what a relationship should look like. Rose eventually called him out on this, and the relationship fell apart, but not before Ed had made his toxic tendencies even more apparent. What we saw in his relationship with Liz was not a one-off situation. The way Ed has acted on the show hasn't gone unnoticed by fans either. Social media has been buzzing with backlash against him for years now. After his behavior with Rose, viewers took to platforms like Twitter and Instagram to express their disgust. Fans started petitions urging the producers of 90 Day Fiancé to remove him from the show, arguing that his presence normalized harmful, misogynistic behavior. Many pointed out how disturbing it was to see a man in his 50s treat much younger women as if they were beneath him, reducing them to their looks and how well they fit into his idea of the perfect partner. There have even been movements online where people collectively voice their opinions against Ed, calling him out for his narcissistic tendencies and his blatant disrespect toward women. From memes to hashtags like #CancelBigEd, it's clear that the audience isn't just passively watching anymore. They're actively criticizing his treatment of the women in his life, both on and off the screen. His behavior has become a symbol of what viewers hope reality TV can stop glorifying. Men who see relationships as a one-way street where they hold all the power. Liz's relationship with Ed took a significant toll on her mental and emotional well-being. Throughout their time on 90 Day Fiancé, you could see her slowly unraveling under the pressure of Ed's manipulative behavior. There were moments when Liz was visibly distressed, and it wasn't just about the constant arguments. It was deeper than that. Ed's constant belittling, controlling nature, and the way he isolated her from her loved ones left her emotionally drained. At one point, Liz even mentioned how she felt like she was aging faster being with him, a clear sign of the stress and emotional burden she was carrying. Watching her struggle with trying to meet his impossible standards and deal with his narcissistic tendencies was painful. Ed's behavior not only impacted Liz, but also served as a warning for other women. His toxic traits, manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional abuse are dangerous in any relationship. For Liz, it's clear that walking away was a step toward reclaiming her mental health, and it will likely take time for her to fully recover from the damage Ed caused. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.